like it's like
that could be exhausting. I'm not gonna lie.
It can be. However, it's just like it builds character. It builds you as an individual. And I, like we said, like you guys were saying earlier, I feel like every kind of message, every kind of anything that's kind of like put out there creates a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a domino effect. It's like you can't really worry about who gets it and who doesn't. If it's in your if it's in your soul and you just feel like this is what I'm going to talk about and this is what this is and this is my truth, put it out there. Put it out there because you just don't, like, it's going to have an effect whether you want to or not. That's just universal law of cause and effect. It takes one match to light a bomb.
Yeah. Whatever. Sean Johnson, Old Head Steph, Sade Renee.
Namaste.
What do you guys have to say this time? Whatever. What are you talking about? You're tuned into another episode of the ISC. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, things are going out in my grind. Everything Irie just came off the vid.
Shout out your name.
Hey guys.
Hola.
I'm a robot.
So it's November.
Yes.
It's November. Yo, this year went by pretty fast.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know what the fuck happened, my nigga. Just the other day, I was turning on the AC complaining that it's not. It's still hot though.
It's still hot though.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this weather.
This is the warmest November I can remember.
You know, my outfit don't look confusing. I got a beanie on with a tank top.
Oh shit, let me see.
You look choloed out. I'm not gonna lie. You look like you out here praying for fun. That's it. Too bad it's the wrong color. Wait, is that racist? Let me stop. Hold on. Shout out to my Chicanos out there. You know what I'm talking about?
So what's been going on in the world?
Oh man, you already know. You know what the main headline is.
What?
Free Ye. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Kyrie Irving as
well.
Oh
yeah, Kyrie. I don't know, bro. I understand. I don't know. I don't understand. Well, there's a lot to be talked about in that situation. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know everybody's like, yo, nobody wants to hold Kanye accountable. Yes, I agree. He shouldn't have said the DEFCON shit for what it represents and what it means, especially what Jewish people have been through. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't understand what Kanye's trying to say. Because Prince been trying to tell us for years. Michael's been trying to tell us for years. Dave Chappelle was trying to tell us for years. And maybe it's not him calling out the set of people that's the right way about going about it, but there obviously is a problem in the 1%ers and industry owners. So yeah, the fact that what pisses me off, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on this little rant, but I'm gonna say the shit that pisses me off, that everybody would love to like talk about what Kanye said was wrong, but does not want to have the discussion of what he was talking about, and that's kind of infuriating. Like, the conversation is never going to be had because people don't care about that. People just want to I just need people to look at me in the face and be like, yo, do you really think Kanye is saying he wants some negative thing to happen to Jewish people? Do you really believe that out of what did you get that? You really believe that what he is saying is like he wants some type of like God forbid, when I'm saying like he was posing a threat. Yeah, he's not saying the Holocaust too. He's not saying that. Do you really believe that's what his intentions are, or you think he's just poorly relaying a message, or using very little tact, or no tact at all, and does not know how to? He's just very overly passionate about what he said about speaking and doesn't think before he talks. And if that's the case, and if you know damn well Kanye's not trying to fucking deliver hate towards Jewish people as a whole, then why aren't you trying to have a conversation about what he's actually talking about?
Because people don't want to go there.
I think because it doesn't matter. I think when you have power like that, you can pull a plug whenever you want. You know what I mean? Like you can just like
but it's a method.
If somebody's on Jay-Z's label talking crazy, right? Jay-Z can cut him without no communication and explanation at all. I'm the boss. You just don't talk about the bosses.
Oh,
like
we're not talking about the bosses. I get the bosses is definitely doing this. A playbook. There's a video watch.
They just pull it. They just pull in the plug on them.
Yeah, they put a playbook. They just like
it's
like
the playbook.
Make this nigga look like he's crazy or change anything he says. Make it seem like a form of hate. Like he's trying to. He's a racist person. Yes. Let's spin it. I
think they're just using.
But that's not who I'm trying to address. I'm trying to address the people that are like sheeping along, following along with the, oh yes, let's cancel Kanye, fuck Kanye, he's this, that, and the other. Like my nigga, like I get it. He definitely should have said things differently.
But bro, I'm noticing that if you look in the comments, what do you notice when you look in the comments?
Huge despair, like huge divide.
When I see in the comments, I just see people on Kanye's side.
Nah, not just so. No. I see a lot of people that's just like canceling. A lot of people. I see a lot of people that's on Kanye's side. Don't get me wrong.
That's what I'm saying. In the comments, I don't know if it's my algorithm.
Probably.
But I see a lot of people on Kanye's side, but I see the figureheads, like the people at Hot 97 or the people at Power 105. The figureheads.
Yeah, shunning him.
Those are shunning him.
Yeah.
But when I look in the comments on my Instagram or my TikTok or whatever, it's like there's a
large group that support.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And yo, my nigga, it's funny because the niggas on 125th, saying this shit for years. For years.
This is not something
since we were little kids. This is not new.
This is nothing new.
But they found it in like a lot of lyrics. Also, like he's not the first rapper to outwardly say it. I think that it just kind of like goes against what they want us to know.
Yeah.
Like he's telling us too much. And people really pay attention to him. He's really influential.
Yeah.
But I think that his impulsive nature and his lack of, like you said, thought before he speaks, he can't, because he could have said that in a way where that wouldn't have happened. He could have said exactly that.
In a different way.
I feel like I've even said it earlier in a few earlier episodes. I've said something to that effect. But it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
It's how you say it.
And I think that they're just using his antics against him. Like it's like when you kind of like shoot yourself in the foot.
But this is the shit that pisses me off though. This is the shit that we've had conversations about this episode after episode. This is exactly what I was talking about with willful ignorance. People are constantly like, bro, okay, we agree. I am 100%. I have too many Jewish friends and Jewish people that that are part of my life to not say like, yeah, this nigga, he shouldn't have said it like that. But why are we not having the fucking discussion? Why is nobody talking about that? Why don't you care? It's like you're being willfully ignorant. For instance, just like abortions, bro. Like,
nah, because there's levels of conversation.
Yeah, I think everybody's on a surface level.
No, it's not even that people are at a surface level. Is that there's certain platforms and outlets that don't
want certain conversations.
Want the conversation to be had on the platform. So people that are having the conversation I see are like little TikTok videos of people that are nobodies, but you're not going to be able to go on CNN and talk about this
until we get louder.
Because they still own the fucking.
That is true.
That's what I'm saying. They own the platform. So
basically what I'm addressing when I say this though is the people that refuse to have the conversation. I'm not talking about the powers that be.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that are just like, fuck Kanye, cancel him. The social justice warriors, the virtue signalers. I'm talking about them. Like I get, this is what I was talking about. This is pretty much my whole message since I've been on this podcast, bro, is why do we not try to fight? Get out of your echo chamber. Have difficult conversations that do not just reinforce your biases and your what makes you go this way. Why are you not trying to have that conversation?
You see people on the internet.
So many. I don't know if it's because
black people or Jewish people.
Both. I don't know if it's just because of the algorithm.
So black people are defending Jewish people?
Yes. I'm gonna tell you because remember I told you the past couple episodes I've been watching things that I disagree with to see the point of view. No, but that's what I'm trying to say.
I'm trying to say, is this your friends or is this
people in general?
That's what I'm trying to say.
There are people having this conversation.
There's a big difference though, because if your friends are having these conversations in their living rooms and in their kitchens and barbershops, that's different from you seeing people that are sheeps of the powers that be that are having a conversation and trying to oppress Kanye.
But it's so basically, I know I agree. It's different because But I'm just saying outside of my
because those are fake conversations. Like so, if you go to Al's and you see people talking about the Kanye Jewish situation and they're on Kanye's side, I feel like those are the real. That's the real outcome of what the conversation has to offer.
Yeah, but the internet is the highway that a lot of this things runs on. Like. These conversations needs to be had there. That needs to be the platform.
Because look at what LeBron said.
I didn't like that. I'm not gonna lie. I usually really fuck with LeBron.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't think somebody told him to say that?
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
But nobody's gonna tell you. Even your own mom is not gonna be able to say, "Oh, don't say that on Jewish people." And you actually go in line and say, you know what, he was wrong. You know what I mean? Like it don't really happen like that.
I get that, but see, so here's what I'm saying. Like I do agree. I understand it's their fucking platform, but I'm talking about in the comment sections of this debate, in this YouTube videos and the TikToks. There's a large amount of people that are only concerned about Kanye's poor choice of words instead of the large conversation of, bro, what do you think about the names, all the red names that he showed you that were owned? What do you think about what Prince said about why he changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince? What do you think about Michael Jackson that say that all these labels are just like really coming and using black artists and basically just like stealing from them? What do you think about that? There's no conversation from them. They don't engage with that. All they want to talk about is Kanye is this. Kanye is this. We're canceling him. We don't support him. He's a racist. He's anti-Semitic. That's all they want to talk about. That's what I'm saying. It's like, and I get you saying that's not a real conversation, but it confuses. It bothers me that as a society, I feel like we are never going to grow if we don't step out of our echo chambers.
Yo, but it's funny you say this. Because episode 25 was what?
I don't remember.
Episode 25.
White Lives Matter.
No, that was 24. Episode 25 was the message versus the messenger.
Yeah.
This proves my point.
Yeah.
It's what we're saying. Well, I was saying in the episode that the message is more important.
And why do you think the message is exactly what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So
you were saying that Andrew Tate, he's the wrong type of messenger, so people aren't gonna.
And this is exactly what I'm saying.
The message.
People didn't get Kanye's message because of how he delivered the message.
But the conversation
is still not being had.
I think they're being had.
On your algorithm, that's what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So lately, like I said, I've been watching things that I don't agree with to get information and to see their points of view. Now, what I'm seeing, hold on, let me finish. Yeah. On my algorithm, what I'm seeing is nobody can get past the point of what Kanye said that was distasteful and poorly thought out. So it's stopping them from having the conversation because he did not deliver the message in a way that could be
heard.
You know what? You know why you're wrong in this, right? And it's kind of like, it's funny because Kanye said it. Some people don't get their flowers, but they can still smell them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And basically, when Kanye said what he said, right? It made Kyrie Irving post the video that the film that he posted, right? He wouldn't have posted that if Kanye didn't open up that conversation.
Maybe he wouldn't have.
Because Kyrie Irving has always been,
but it was a topic of subject.
It coincided with
it.
It's a trickle effect. It's topic of subject. And you know what happened to that? You know what happened to that movie?
What happened?
Is
it still on Amazon?
Yes, the views
went up,
quadrupled.
Okay.
So that means that you don't like the message, but just because the conversation was being had, you don't like the messenger just because the conversation was being had, the message was highlighted.
I get that, and I'm not saying that even though he didn't have a well-spoken, thought-out way of portraying his message, it didn't cause some type of awareness. I just think it would have been way more beneficial to the conversation if he chose his words carefully. Because then we wouldn't have headlines saying Kanye is this versus is there a problem in the industry, in the entertainment industry? I'm telling you, bro, because the conversation, Kyrie stepping in.
But look how.
Hold on. Kyrie stepping in is a plus. It's a help. He took a risk to do that. There's not many people, just like you said, why LeBron said what he said, because he knows his place. He's not going to do that. But yes, Kyrie has. What if Kyrie didn't?
Yo, you know what it feels like?
Who's doing it for
I feel like I'm speaking Spanish and you speaking Portuguese.
Yeah.
We understand each other.
Yes.
But there's different words being said.
We're on the same line.
What I'm saying, right? Kyrie Irving is somebody who has great communication.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Better communication.
If you see the way he explained it.
But I'm saying, and people still didn't receive him as the messenger.
Okay.
So you have an example.
Why do you think, though?
You have an example of a bad messenger and a pretty decent messenger.
I think it's what we're talking about.
He's not offensive when he talks. He's very respectful.
He's not offensive, but he's also kind of like not credible. Like my nigga, before the COVID thing, the last huge thing Kyrie was going on a rant, boy, is that the world is flat, and it's just like, okay, my nigga, like who we having this discussion with? Like, I'm not gonna lie, if you're trying to convince me of something to like if against my bias, and then
who's in the echo chamber now though?
What do you mean?
See,
if you can't even hear a man out, you can have your own decision. Right?
Let me finish. Let me say, look.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm not hearing anything he's saying, but I'm still speaking in the sense of like the messenger has to have some type of credibility. So if you're trying to get if you're trying to get the maximum radius of your message, you want it to come from somebody that is like why you like for instance, if you open up a new restaurant, you don't want motherfucking Flavor Flav fucking promoting your shit. You want maybe like The Rock promoting your shit. What's the difference? Anybody listen to goddamn Flavor Flav for no goddamn restaurant? Like, I mean, it's a poor example, but you want somebody, or like maybe you don't want Flavor Flav, you want the chef, Emerald Chef to fucking, you know what I'm saying? If the Emerald Chef says your shit is, we're gonna try this shit out.
I just look at it like we it's like what Dave Chappelle said about nobody wants to hear Ja Rule's opinion on fucking politics and presidency.
Exactly.
But we listen to dumb motherfuckers all day talk about political issues and what they think about. They act like, even like, I remember
Cardi B.
They act Cardi B or like
who's listening to Cardi B though?
A lot of people.
I'm saying
they're echo chamber.
It's like we're having a part 2 conversation of the message and the messenger, because like at the end of the day, I don't think anybody is like, I'm not going to look at anybody and be like, I'm just going to shun you out and I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say because you don't have any position to provide me value.
You don't think the other side...
I would never say that.
You wouldn't say that. But you... Okay, so I think you're giving a lot of too much credit to people that are like... if anybody that has looked at the history of Facebook or any type of online forum where people are having political debates about something, it's not even a conversation. It's you're stupid, you believe in this, sarcasm. Nobody's listening to each other's points. If you couldn't bring the message to us, I'm not saying it's going to be, we should be like, oh, listen to what I got to say. I'm not saying Kanye was even wrong for saying what he said. I'm saying that if he would have delivered it differently, there probably would have been a further reach. There are people that don't give a fuck. Like, what about, there's people that don't give a fuck about that situation on black people.
Hold on, Champagne. Why do we call you Champagne?
Champagne.
Because I was thinking about Drake.
That's offensive.
I was thinking about something. I was gonna bring up something about Drake. That's why.
Okay.
But I'm gonna level the playing field right now. Okay. Right? Because I think
my headphone plugged out.
we're giving too much credit to a low vibrating audience. You have different levels of people that receive communication. On the lowest level of people that receive communication is you're having a conversation, one person says something that's offensive, and now it turns into a war. and now you guys aren't thinking about the idea anymore. You're just thinking about winning and hurting each other's feelings.
Yeah.
That's not the point of the conversation. And those are like the low scale levels of communication that I feel like we shouldn't really talk about, because those aren't the people having the intellectual debate anyway. You know, if I can't talk to you and communicate with you without you being offended and you throwing darts at me, this should be just like on the show. Sometimes I'm sure one of us gets offended off of something, but it's like, they didn't mean that. Let's see what they're trying to say, and let me open up my mind to their perspective.
I kind of disagree though. You know why? Because it's like then it wouldn't be politics. Like what the same way
the people that are doing politics aren't low scale level individuals that are having the debate. They're saying, okay, that was a jab.
So then what is the purpose?
That's what I'm saying. You're talking about these people.
Hold on. That politicians definitely come down to low level people and try to manipulate them because they count. They matter. The votes matter.
I'm talking about the conversation between two politicians.
Yeah, but like in the end of the day, it's like not the conversation. I'm not talking about the conversation between the politicians. I'm talking about, like, you're saying, like, the low level vibration doesn't matter. We should just ignore that group of people because they're not intellectual enough to have the conversation at all. I disagree with that because they need it. Those are the people that need it to be broken down. Like, too, it needs to be broken down to them. Like, hey, this is the problem. Like, this is like with the things that you're spouting or you're walking around like the biases you have, or incorrect biases that you have, is because of this. You need to look at this. They're not seeing past. I think that's important. Like, that's like saying that the whole reason Trump got elected is because of those people. Like, that's huge.
No, because when you look at it, right, it's like there's like a selfishness that goes on in like the communication. Some people are always gonna think their biases. Some people aren't mature enough to really hear an outside perspective and take it on in and just drop everything that they once believed. That's big for somebody to do themselves.
I don't think anybody's ever gonna just drop what they believe, but they can be.
Yeah,
before 10 years ago, maybe 10 to 15, 20, maybe 20 years ago, saying the F-bomb was just a normal way of speaking. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, we don't use that word. Mm-hmm. Even though we know when we were using it, we never meant that in that case. It was like, it was something you called, you dummy. Or like,
so you're talking about programming.
Basically. So in the end of the day, it's like, we have grown to change. We don't speak how we spoke when we was in high school. There's a lot of shit that we don't say because it's like, that'll be considered distasteful. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, we don't want to be labeled with that. I think that's important. That those are things that can happen. Just think about like how like many white people were a part of the civil rights movement. That couldn't have happened 20 years prior to that because those kids probably grew up with their parents saying like overtly racist things, and that became the norm to them. So little by little things change, you know what I'm saying? So even if they're low vibration, the message that these people are getting today will affect the message and how things will change, or what's a social norm later on in life. And if the message is not articulated and delivered properly, we can just slow the process. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but it's like I just have a problem with like programming itself.
I do. Because I do as well.
America was once programmed for Jim Crow.
I get that, and I understand that.
Yeah, like we can be programmed for anything.
But do you think it's gonna stop? Like, there's always gonna be some type of program.
I get what you're saying, but it's like the programming is not necessarily the truth. I'm more for like free thinkers that are searching for the truth.
Yeah,
rather than programming to say we should all think like this and get the low.
Oh yeah, I definitely do not fuck with that type of frame of mind. But I'm saying like it's kind of like Jordan Peterson talks about hierarchy. Hierarchy can be fucking bad, but it's not going away. It's also a good thing to it. Like it's etiquette. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that you should, like in a Jamaican household, we've been programmed a certain type of way. Like there's certain things that we don't do that because it's.
So let's bring it full circle into the anti-Semitic and the Kyrie Irving thing, right?
Yeah.
What's the proper programming for that?
I don't have that answer. I think I think if Kanye would have said the things he said without DEFCON, maybe not saying. I think it's.
Let's go Kyrie Irving because Kanye is a wild card.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with what he did, but what I would say if Kyrie Irving wasn't running around like saying that like the Earth is flat and like 100% and looking at everybody like kind of he was kind of being condescending about it, like y'all believe anything y'all hear. The Earth is flat. Like, it's kind of like, bro, you kind of sound crazy. Like, the same way you can sit here and say, like, there's no proof. We don't have any proof of knowing that the world is round. We don't have any proof we have less proof that the world is flat. So the fact that you're walking around as if this is like a well-known fact that you know more than anybody else, you're like, you could say, like, it's like me saying, yo, I'm agnostic because I'm okay with saying I don't know what it is. Instead of saying I'm atheist because, nigga, y'all stupid for believing some guy in the sky and this, that, and the other. No, I don't know. Maybe there is.
I don't know. I think that mind state is dangerous because it's like it doesn't encourage free thinking.
But how is it dangerous to be okay with saying I don't know, but I have a theory? And tell me what you think about this.
No, that's cool, but it's also cool for somebody else to think what they want to think.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's wrong for thinking whatever he wants to think.
But you're saying
that
the way
he was saying that he was like, oh, yeah, y'all are bugging for not thinking this way. Like
that's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying there's nothing wrong with that, but it's what messes it up is his credibility for when he decides to have something that holds weight. Mm-hmm. It's like the boy who cried wolf. If every time you speak, you say something kind of dumb and you're like standing on it behind it, the next time you say something that actually holds weight, like we don't really care what you got to say. You sound dumb. You know what I'm saying? You're losing credibility. It's like that's why like Cisco and Eber exist. 2 thumbs up from these people. They always now if they fucking looked at Soul Plane, fucking the best movie ever. Nigga, what? All right. We're not listening to you anymore.
I don't know what do you think, Shawty?
So while you guys were talking, I was thinking, and it made me No, it's cool because it let me kind of get my thoughts together so I can not be Kanye and not be Kyrie either. But okay, so like a few weeks ago, we were studying social psychology and how people's thoughts, feelings, and actions are influenced by things outside of them. And I think number one, what's probably most important, especially about people who are looking at somewhat of the surface or like you said, don't want to have the deeper conversation. They're kind of like looking at his actions. I think as a whole, a lot of the collective has lost their curiosity about what could be.
I agree.
Also, I learned about persuasion and it's changing attitudes. And it's basically like the factors that lead to, you know, people kind of saying, oh, that could be something. And there's 2 different ways that could go. There's people who are more evaluate based off of like thoughtfulness and they're like conscious and they're like really thinking and evaluating the information they're getting. And then there's people who are basing their opinion about a message that was brought to them with things that are kind of irrelevant. Mm. So it's like y'all are talking about 2 different types of people. Mm. And I think you kind of have to understand that not everybody's going to get every message.
Of course.
And sometimes it's like, okay, fuck the messenger. Did you get the message? But a lot of people aren't going to get the message. And I think the people who aren't getting the message are people who have peripheral root processing. They look at it and they're like, oh, Kanye, he's bugging. He has mental health. Like they're looking at all the factors that don't coincide with the message. Mm-hmm. So they're not able to, and they never probably will be able to have that conversation. That's a little bit more deeper than Kanye and his being a little bit erratic and him being a little bit impulsive. They're not going to be able to set those things aside. Mm-hmm. So they're never going to be able to have those conversations. Mm-hmm. And I think something I learned like just in my journey all along is like, let people do as they will. Like there will be people who want to have the conversation. And as long as there's people who will have the conversation, things are going to keep moving. There's a great percentage of people who are sheeple. They won't ever address the deeper issues. They're going to be like, oh, well, he's not credible because he has this and he's not credible. But I think even whether it's Kyrie talking about flat earth and Kanye talking about what he's talking about, we've lost our curiosity. It's like, okay, why would he say that? And where does this come from? Let me think about this a little deeper. I don't think a lot of people practice that. Like, you watch things that are opposed to your biases. Me, I'm aware of my biases, and when something triggers my biases, I kind of will go like, oh, let me go to the side and check this out, and I'll look at it a little deeper. And I think SJ kind of does the same, kind of a little bit of what we both do, and I just think that it's like, kind of what SJ said about like not worrying about the people who don't want to have the conversation and focus more on the people that do. And because I think that we will get distracted if we kind of keep saying, oh, well, you're not paying attention. It's like almost like on my Facebook page. I had to filter it because there were certain people who didn't want to have the conversations I wanted to have. And I was talking about something that was bigger than myself, bigger than all of us, that would allow us to kind of be curious about what more there is. It's like, I always say this, I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to fucking think. You don't have to agree with, I don't agree with the flat earth theory. However, I looked into it myself and I'm like, maybe like, okay, there's a little something to this. And I'm going to keep watching and keep looking and keep, being a little bit investigative to kind of figure it out for myself. And I think that's where we get lost in all of this, is like, we don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree, but having the curiosity of like what's more and what's possible is the point of every single fucking message. Every single message is supposed to trigger a thought in your head that's like, okay, what do I fully agree? And even if I fully agree with this, why do I fully agree with this? A lot of people just don't practice being curious. Like, we're not curious about the world, and we just kind of take everything for what we've been told or what we see at face value. And I think we just don't practice like just this really, I don't know. I guess I'm a psychological philosophy freak. So I do this. Like, I love investigating. I love deep diving. Like, it's going to take people who have peripheral root processing to dive a little deeper. Yeah. And I've come to learn, like, I can't judge other people for their opinions. I can kind of pass my own judgment based off of how I interact with those people. But I have to understand that there's no one way to the truth, and that everyone has their path, and some people just aren't meant to get it right now. Like, some people just aren't ever going to get it. Some people might get it a little late. Some people, we're having this conversation, right now. Somebody might watch this and be like, maybe I'm one of those people and I need to like think about it a little bit more. Yeah. You just never know. I feel like as long as the conversation's being had, that's what's important. It's when we completely negate the conversation and we focus on Kyrie being a basketball player talking about political or social issues, and we focus on Kanye having so-called mental health issues and that getting in the way and his life and this, this scope taken away from what he's actually saying. I think when we do that, we cut ourselves off from what's possible.
And I 100% agree with you. Can I just say two things? I want to take two things. The civil rights movement, right? When they was trying to end segregation, there was a lot of people that were okay with segregation. No, they're not like a lot of Caucasians that were okay with it, right? It wasn't until first Brown versus Plessy, where they got rid of black kids couldn't go to white schools. That was a law that was passed by that was a law that was passed. It wasn't enforced until shit got sticky. They literally had to have the military come and escort black kids inside the school. Bridges. So anyways, there was still not enough allies as far as whites that were supporting civil rights movement until it was so seen on camera. Like they did this, the free riders, you remember the free riders? Where there was a bunch of blacks and whites sitting on the bus, one white next to a black. It was against the law. It was supposed to do that. And they would ride around the country and stop at these bus stations. They were getting beaten, hosed, killed sometimes. It was just arrested, all types of things. And when that was televised, That's when it was like, oh,
so
this is happening. Hold on.
Sorry.
That's another thing. Police brutality. Since me and you and all three of us was born, we've been hearing about Rodney King, this, that, and the other. Every single time somebody mentions a minority would mention like things that police injustice, police brutality. Oh, you're pulling a race card again. Tell me that has not been your life, because that's been mine.
And I don't care. I'm gonna pull that card every time.
Hold on. I agree with you 100%. It wasn't until a shitload of fucking killings kept being posted on the internet over and over and over and over and over and over, all the way till 2020, when the entire world joined in Black Lives Matter and celebrated. Hold on. We don't even hear about Black Lives Matter anymore because the leader or organizer of Black Lives Matter became corrupt, used the money that was gathered, billions of dollars, and bought their family mansions. Now we don't fucking hear about it anymore. Message destroyed. That's why it's important. All that shit that we had to deal with and led all the way up to 2020. The world, listen, every video game, you turn on Call of Duty, Black Lives Matter. Do you know how big that is? Call of Duty is the home of, I fucking killed you, N-word, hard R, fucking hard R. But Call of Duty, when you turn it on now, at Black Lives Matters, that's huge until the message gets tarnished. That's the problem. It took a while.
So you're talking about the integrity of a message?
It has to stay pure. Of a messenger.
Okay.
Over the message.
That coincides with the message.
Now, to back Kanye West, you're taking a fucking huge risk because he didn't deliver his message properly. So now it's like, we can distract them easily.
Yes. You can use that to negate the whole conversation.
Extra strings.
Right.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We need that's why I love Jay-Z. Jay-Z said exactly what Kanye West is saying on 444.
More eloquently.
But he didn't.
More eloquently.
They tried to hit him with the anti-Semitic shit. But it's like, no, that's not what it is.
But that's what it says. It's like, it's not what you say, but how you say it. It's like, it takes one match to light a fuse to create a bomb. For a bomb to go off.
This is a great conversation, but it's like we're having the same episode all over again.
I know.
You know?
But I think it's important though. I feel like we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility.
Like you said, it's a conversation that needs to be understood, that it's important to have the conversation. To negate the conversation because of the messenger diffuses the integrity of the message, and now we get nowhere.
Now let's talk about the low vibration people that still don't fuck with the message.
Well, there was always somebody on the plantation that told on somebody. So it's like,
those niggas don't matter.
They don't.
It's irrefutable now because the world is, bro, nigga, in Japan, China, they was Black Lives Matter. What? That's huge. You cannot deny it.
But the thing is, I get what you're saying. I like that. I like that point, right? But the thing is, what's dangerous about going with the messenger over the truth is really the messenger versus the truth, and not the messenger versus the message.
Yes.
Because there can be a wrong message that a good messenger is delivering.
Yeah, like Trump.
Like Hitler.
Like I said, it's the persuasion.
And now
they're not missing a beat.
And now that's what I'm saying.
Changing
now
the attitude.
The messenger could imply programming.
And they're not that's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not messing up. We cannot mess up our message because they're not gonna mess up.
Yes. I get what you're saying.
But that's what I'm saying. And is it really that's why maybe it goes, I'm thinking, does it go back to my point? Because if it's like, if a messenger relays, hey, I got the truth, you guys do what you want.
So maybe then it's up to us.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it is up to us at the end.
It is.
That's why we're doing this.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say. So like, we don't have the platform Kanye does though. So once we have an ally like Kanye saying something that, this is something that needs to be talked about. Oh, you fucked it up, bro. Like, why did you almost got niggas to talk about this shit, but now you made it about this, and then you gave the powers that be a tool. You gave them the way to distract everybody. That's what I'm talking about.
However, I feel like even if we don't have an ally, we have a platform. We have the voice. So it's like, okay, y'all can be distracted by that bullshit that Kanye's talking about. But it's like, even when I think about it, I said this the other day, like I look at the content that generally speaking, like I said, I don't know if it's my algorithm, but what you see is just like, kind of like Black people are in this like standstill where we're
easily distracted.
Not only are we easily distracted, but we're worried about the wrong things. Like we're worried about things on the surface of it, and we're never like looking at why the whys, or just like how did we come to this place where men can only talk about what they don't want in women, and women is like, I'm on the internet and all I see is like I'm following fitness pages. I make sure to curate and fucking filter the shit out of all my social media because I know there's only certain shit I'm trying to see.
But
like,
you gotta understand, you gotta give yourself credit. You have to understand that there's not a lot of people that think
absolutely,
like that.
Absolutely.
Everybody being like, it's too much work for everybody. But
this is why I say what I say when I get the chance to say it, is because like, okay, you're into fitness. Yes. That's awesome. Like, get people inspired to take care of themselves. However, you take it to this extreme where it's like now every fitness girl I watch is fucking just ass and fucking coochie all over my Instagram. And
it's true.
And it's supposed to be fitness. I'm like, I watch this to inspire me to work out.
It's fuckness.
And
that's another example.
I wish for every woman to feel so empowered that they love their body. But some things are personal conversations to be had. And I feel like we kind of just take what is popular, what is, what gets the views, and we take this and we stick to that and we lose the integrity of the message, which is take care of yourself, eat right, and you can feel and look your best self. It doesn't matter what size that is. Like, don't compare yourself to me, but it's just like when I look at the so-called message that I get from people talking about like the whole red pill and women into like getting into femininity, the message is like coming back to ourselves. And then the fitness is taking care of ourselves. But the message gets lost when you have fucking ass
all over the place,
and you have all these podcasts or you have all these men talking to just one group of women and complaining about what they don't want. Let's talk about what we do want.
Exactly.
That's why I said, like, I'm gonna say it whenever I have the choice. The chance to, because it's like the most popular things are these things. And not that I'm against like embracing your body and loving your body and showing your body, but that gets lost. Like the message gets lost when you put yourself on in this world or this like bubble where it's only about what it looks like. It's way deeper than that. I think that's kind of what social media has done. It's ruined the integrity of a lot of our messages. That's the importance of like platforms and podcasts like this. Like we can say what we see and share our experiences and our truth.
Yeah.
And there is facts behind, like I said, eating healthier and being physically active. Like I learned this in nutrition class. The only way to be healthy is to burn energy. And that is whether you're in the gym or you're just physically active. It's just like, okay, if you're not being healthy, you need to burn some energy. If you got some excess weight or some excess fat, okay, love that shit till you burn that shit so that you can be
love that shit till you burn that shit. I like that.
So you can be the version of you. Like I just feel like we're so fucking caught up in fucking like, I keep hearing identity. Identity. How I see myself and who I correlate to and how I show myself and how I feel. And we get caught up in that and we lose the integrity of the actual messages. There's power in each individual.
Talk that shit.
There's power in taking care of yourself. There's power in being curious about what the fuck Kanye's talking about. There's power in understanding and being curious about what fucking Kyrie's talking about. You can read some shit and not fully agree with it, kind of like what you do, and find out some other shit that you're like, oh,
never even knew.
Shit.
Exactly.
I'm in school and I'm an artist kid and I'm in school for nursing. is the fucking complete opposite end, and I'm sitting in this shit and I'm fucking geeking out and I'm like, yo, I made this into a spiritual experience. Like, how the fuck does like chemistry and nutrition and like all of this shit is fucking connected? Yeah. And I'm like, it made me curious. It's well outside my box. Yeah. It's way outside of what I thought I would be doing. Yeah. And it's just taking taking me as an individual to another level. But me as an individual on another level, I feel like I have a responsibility to share that with other people, to inspire them just to be fucking curious. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all you need is just curiosity. It's like,
Yo, I'm gonna say this, bro. When I was younger, I used to say, fuck politics. I'm not into all that shit. And a lot of my black friends would say the same because it's very confusing. It's manipulative.
And it's frustrating.
Unbeknownst to me, I decided to become an artist, which is, I've always been, right-brained. And I've been trying to my whole life, I've studied the arts.
Same. So
when I came out of the military, I went to college and I became a media major. And I took this class, and I'm so grateful for taking this class. And this class taught me about the power of media and how, they let us watch old drug videos and this is your brain on drugs and how they made it portrayed. It was completely wrong.
That was like my social sciences class.
And now I'm in history, doing this history class, and I'm like, it's not even the main point, but ever since then, I look at movies, TV shows, music, videos. Everything is different how I see it. I look from it. I have an analytical mind of when I see media. I'm like, oh, they're trying to portray this.
You can see through what you're seeing. You can see through what you're seeing, all the shit, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So now I'm in history, and they're talking about back in World War. This is why I say I know I'm beating a dead horse, but this is why I'm so fixated on the messenger has to be, you have to do your job. Your job is to deliver. These niggas have been practicing at this shit. Propaganda. They have it down to a fucking science. In World War II, before World War II, America was an isolationist country. Yep. They were not trying to get involved in any of the shit that was happening. But the president foresaw, the government foresaw, they're going to have to get involved in this. But how do we do it? How do we convince the people that we need to get in it? Then you would be come up with I think, what was it? FDR came up with I think it was FDR, excuse me if I'm wrong, came out with the lending your neighbor a hose. If your neighbor's house was on fire, would you not lend them a hose because there'd be too much problems? This is how we should lend them a hand. Lend them some weapons. This is just, they're our neighbors. And it's if it spreads there, it'll spread here in commercials, media, propaganda. Yep. This is how we are manipulated. And I think it's so important that we gain knowledge in media studies.
Absolutely.
In politics, in politicians.
Just to understand.
So we can see through the bullshit. We need that. Because then when messages come out, and sometimes we get a good message, but the messenger is not really on point. And we can, you know what? Fuck that. That was stupid. Processing. But let me fucking zero in on the message. Yep. That's when I feel like the world, fuck the world. As blacks in this world, minorities in this world, my Latinos, my blacks, my whatever.
Americans.
We need to focus on the manipulation. We need to focus on the messaging. You shouldn't get hype when fucking Black Panther comes out and it's what is the message? You need to see why did they put that in there? Are they when they put the token black nigga in the show, don't get lit because there's one black nigga in the show. That's not it's insulting your intelligence. They're insulting your intelligence.
Some people don't go that deep though.
They need to. And it's exhausting.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but that's not for everybody. Some people are gonna watch this, and some people watch this. They maybe see somebody on the thumbnail, think they're attractive, then click the video and be like, "The fuck are they talking about?"
I'll get it.
You get what I'm saying? Some
people watch the video and be like, "LOL."
So, yeah, exactly. Some people don't get that deep into things.
That's what I said.
So it's I
understand
when they see a character on TV and it's a black mockery. You get what I'm saying? They see a surface idea, and like everything's not racism, everything's not deep, everything's not blah blah blah. One thing that I noticed deep about like being into film and being on sets and just knowing how movies are made and this and that is that every shot is like so manicured and executed that if you
I can't even enjoy movies now.
Yo, if you see a Coca-Cola bottle just sitting on the side,
that was placed there.
That's a whole contract. Yeah. That's weeks and weeks of negotiation.
Yeah. We'll put it there. How much you gonna give us?
It's crazy because they understand psychology.
Everything is like that. Like if you watching, like I was watching a breakdown in the Kendrick video, right? Mm-hmm. And he was sitting in the room, and his whole spiel is that artists are being over glorified, almost like they're a savior or like a Christ figure. Yeah. So he's sitting in the room in the N95 video, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a room full of all crosses and shit, right? Yeah. And you don't really see, but there's like a parrot in the background. Yeah. And basically they go into why parrot represents like a symbol of deception. How parrots used to be mistaken for people talking in the background, you know, and you go there and it's a bird, and now they can attack you, you know. And it's also he's like personifying it as like rappers are glorified to be the savior when they really aren't. And it's like, damn, I just thought a bird was in the room. You get what I'm saying? Like all of this shit is so intentional that it's not even a game.
But that's the thing though. That's why I say, bro, these motherfuckers had years of practice. I don't even practice.
And we're also 400 years behind.
We have to catch up. We have to see through the lines, and I hate being this dude. Like, you gotta pay attention to the message. You gotta see through the line. Be in the matrix.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and I'm black, and I'm black, and I'm black.
I don't want to be that guy because I'm really on a day to day. I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna sit here and be like I'm like super black man stand up. I'm not sitting here every day fighting the good fight. I could do more.
This is me all day, every day.
I'm not sitting here acting like I don't have my flaws. I have my flaws. I get caught. I get programmed. I get lost. But I also take the time and dissect. What did I fuck? What did I miss? Oh shit. Self awareness. Self-reflecting. Like that's the shit I be trying to like preach, bro. Like I don't know, bro. Like it's just a never-ending process of growth. I feel like it shouldn't happen, and I feel like we gotta stop being stagnant, bro. Like we gotta be a little bit harder on ourselves and our people. We gotta start fucking looking at what messages are. We gotta start studying up on the other side's information. We need to know. I don't know, man.
Stop trying to get in those places just to climb the ladder, infiltrate and understand how they operate. Exactly. Like I just feel like a lot of us like. I know I'm old. I'm that person all day, every day, and people are get so annoyed with me because I'm like, they're like, oh, it's not that deep. I'm like, yo, everything's that fucking deep.
Yeah, I hear it.
Everything's that deep. Like I don't know if it's just me, like my nature that I just like, I'm naturally curious and I'm always like, what does that mean? Like, I never take things at face value. Yeah. And I'm always just like, well, what does that mean? And there are some things where it's just like, okay, whatever. You know, like, it's like...
I get that could be exhausting. I'm not gonna lie.
It can be, however, it's just like, it builds character. It builds you as an individual. And I, like we said, like you guys were saying earlier, I feel like every kind of message, every kind of anything that's kind of like put out there creates a ripple effect. Yeah. Like it's just like a domino effect. It's like you can't really worry about who gets it and who doesn't. If it's in your soul and you just feel like this is what I'm going to talk about and this is what this is and this is my truth, put it out there. Put it out there because you just don't like it's going to have an effect whether you want to or not. That's just universal law of cause and effect. It takes one match to light a bomb.
One match.
And that's the whole point of the show. Like we're like the whole inspiration chemistry is the chemistry, the brain chemistry behind like by what we're saying. I have a clip that like that caught me on some inspiration chemistry because we're about to go soon, right?
Yeah.
And And it's not for you to. It's not for you to. It's not for me to like ruffle people's feathers or like go into conspiracies. It's for you to think.
Yeah.
Because it's something that you could relate to if you want to go that deep, or it's something that you can just brush off, but it's for your discretion, right?
Yeah.
Go back to all those black and white films where you saw the Klan marching on Washington. Thousands of white men in hooded robes marching. Where are all those robes today? So they burned them all. This is what baffles me about American society. Who cleans these robes? These robes are not machine washable. They got patches and stuff on them. You got to take it to the cleaners. Who's upgrading and mending, sewing, and keeping all those robes in material existence to this day? Who's doing that work? Who's doing? Where the robes go? Why you can't get one on auction? Why you don't see one at the Salvation Army? Thrift shop, Klan robe at the thrift shop. Somebody turned it in. Why you don't see that? Because people are still holding on to them. They even still wearing them. Maybe not outside, but somewhere it's still getting worn. Now I could tell you where all the Black Panther outfits are. They got holes in them with red liquid all over them. I can tell you where the guns went. The cops took them after they shot this guy. Come on. Fred Hampton, I can tell you where his guns went. We know what happened to our movements. What happened to the other one?
Yeah.
Go.
That's boss.
And it's that's the whole point of the free thinking, that sometimes a radical would say some shit that would be like, come on, man, like niggas burn all the roads, it's not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the free thinking like inspires thought so we can like grow from it. Like sometimes you'll watch a video like that and it could be hurtful.
Yeah.
You know? But that's why I believe that sometimes the message behind what somebody is saying, you cannot like KRS-One. You can think he's the worst thing ever. But sometimes you just like have to sit back and think about what people are saying and also take everything with a grain of salt.
I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. But that shit comes with a lot of emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and bias awareness.
That's why I always talk about being an individual.
I really wish the world would practice that. Maybe in the near future it'll be more of a common thing. But right now I don't see it. I don't see people. Like I said, bro, I used to be a social justice warrior on Facebook, and I wanted to debate everybody, and it got exhausting because I realized, nobody's hearing me.
Well, I mean, the work I do, I got into it because I wanted everybody to find it in themselves to be more, and I found that most people just have learned helplessness. I can't do that. That doesn't work. So why even try? Why even be curious about how? Not a lot of people are just afraid to go that deep. A lot of people are afraid to make mistakes. A lot of people are afraid of how other people are going to perceive them once they say the things they say and once they say they think. And I just feel like there's just so much power in the individual doing that work. And individual, it's like, if you think about it, the individual makes the collective. There's no collective without one person.
Yeah.
There's no collective without a leader of thought.
Yeah.
That's so radical that there's other individual who's like, oh, I kind of fuck with this. I can add something to this. A collective is supposed to be a group of individuals, a mastermind group of individuals who bring their own pieces to this grand puzzle that we're building. It's like, no one person has it all. No one person has all the answers. But if everybody practiced their own individual power, imagine how powerful imagine how powerful the collective we could build if there's a bunch of individuals who can come together and piece their thoughts together. That's what this is.
Yeah.
And imagine like when this grows and when we have people actually tuning in and we have like millions of subscribers and people just building up the thought. That's a community.
Yeah.
That's going to make a change in this world. And it might seem small, but I think also a lot of things take time. I feel like the school of thought that we are talking about and the whole like self-development, self-awareness, a lot of people stray from that.
Yeah.
A lot of people ain't trying to touch that shit because
it's hard.
It takes you to be accountable
Yep.
for yourself, for your decisions, for your thoughts, for your actions, for your behavior. And it's not on no one else but you. And a lot of people ain't about that life. And I'm telling you, it's easy. It's easy to be one of millions. It's easy to be a sheeple. It takes fucking guts to speak your mind and be a fucking justice warrior.
Yeah.
It takes guts to say, listen, this is what I think. This is what I read. This is what I know. You can feel how you feel, or you can walk with me, or you can walk by yourself. It takes guts to be that person. It takes guts to be a fucking Kanye West.
I agree.
It takes guts to be a Kyrie Irving.
I got one question. It's kind of off topic.
Nope, go ahead.
Something I've been stressing. I know the show's about to end, but just real quick. Would you want to live in a society where the government is open with all its secrets?
Well,
could you live in a society? Do you think you could?
I'm an anarchist. And
so then you would like that.
I feel like that because of what I just said, a lot of people aren't self-governed. But I believe like when you're an individual who's self-governed, we can govern ourselves.
Okay, so with that being said, like, so let me try to stress real quick.
Good.
The plot of this question. I'm talking about secrets that would put the society, most people in society, in a state of panic. Would you want to live in a society like that?
I go back to my theory. If a plane crashes in the middle of the woods, right? The plane crashes and everybody has to survive in this Amazon jungle for a couple months, right?
Yeah.
Some people are going to be collecting fire. Some people are going to be collecting bamboo for shelter. Making fire, collecting bamboo for shelter, collecting fish and all of that. And some niggas
ain't gonna do shit.
They're gonna be bullshit.
That's I think that's just a part of.
Some people are gonna be bullshitting. The people that bullshit need the people that make moves to survive.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
think one can't.
I know the general public. I work. You know what I mean? I work in the general public. I know the general public.
Yeah,
and.
They need
a lot of people they need structure and order.
And exactly.
They're like children.
Exactly.
You can't. That's why when I say like the people that vibrate too low don't matter. It's kind of harsh. I know that.
Yeah.
Large.
I know that
number.
I know that, and that's why it only makes sense because that's why there's only a select amount of leaders.
That's why 1% exists.
That's why there's only a selective few people that can have conversation like this that can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Because everybody, like, I can't even talk to some of my siblings and say something a little hurtful, and they'll be like, "And you do this, and you do this, and you're a this, and you're a that," and it's like, what? Like,
what are we talking about?
This has nothing to do with what we doing now.
95%. You know, 95% of my
you didn't pick me up 5 years ago, and
was this too hard for you?
That's what I'm saying.
But even like I said, in the work that I do, 95% of my clients is like, you do it for me. You do it for me. They don't want to think for themselves. They need that chunk. Like, that's kind of like what got us in this fucking shit to begin with. That's the reason why we have politicians. That's why they create the situations they create. Because the more they create situations that most people don't want to fucking think about, they're like, oh, just give that power to us. We'll figure it out for you. No problem. And people are just like, yes, please. Please, we need the government to fix our roads. We need and even when you think about jobs, that's why people get paid more to do a little bit less because they think a little bit harder.
The reason why I show up here every day, you get what I'm saying? Well, every time we meet up is because these videos, these collective of videos are going to outlive us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, these videos will probably be on the internet for like, you never know, like another 300 years.
Yeah.
Word.
You right?
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess what? We're going to be looked at. Oh, they in old school clothing.
Yeah.
But guess what's still going to be the same?
Truth.
The message. The truth.
Yep.
The truth.
Yep.
My great grandkids can be fucking up in life, and they can see their great grandfather say some shit to redirect it. Like
that's gonna be fire.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fire.
But that's what I'm saying. This means more than just us trying to get some views.
But that's why I said, like, we may not see the effect of this cause. We may not see the changes that we're speaking about. But like we said, we're just setting off the ripple effect, and it might just be in your bloodline.
Yeah.
Your grandkid, my grandkids, his grandkids, they could be the ones who fucking set this shit different. Like, we have to have these conversations when we can, and we have to say the hard things because there's too many people scared to.
Yeah.
With that said, that's another episode of the ISC. It's a wrap, like a motherfucking mummy on his back. Holla at your boys.